Good morning, everybody. We are in a different mode for some reason. It is September 26th. I'm Jane Johnston with the Briar Hill Group at Remax Camosun. Welcome to the Victoria Real Estate Show. It is September 26th, and I'm here with...
Hi, everybody. Andrew Plank here with Five Real Estate Group, Royal LePage Coast Capital.
And
Jen Lowe, mortgage broker with DLC Modern Mortgage Group.
Mortgage broker extraordinaire.
Welcome, everybody. So sorry, we had a few personal things happening last week, and so we weren't able to do the show. We're back live Thursdays at 9:30. And Andrew, how was your week?
Well, yeah, Liz, you mentioned personal things, so that was definitely a lot. But we've got life moves on, and been super busy in real estate for sure. Came back to a lot of active buyers, and a new listing going live today. Just pushed live on that one, and yeah, it's I'm feeling positive about this fall market, and definitely the coming spring market for being a busy time.
Good. How about you, Jen?
It's been a busy week actually, which has been great, and definitely feels like fall is here, and yeah, plugging away.
Good.
Right.
I found it kind of hot and cold. Interesting. Like some properties were, we've sold multiple offers, and others we're getting no viewings. Just so weird. I think it's situational, like depending on neighborhood and stuff like that, where the activity's happening. Definitely hot in the core, cool on the outside.
And I've got that same experience. I've got a listing that I really truly believe we're at the right price point, but we're not getting the activity we really should be seeing, and that's something more in the West Shore.
Does that come down to location, do you think?
In a market where it's expanding and contracting, like right now, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So lower to like price point, lower to higher, and core to the burbs. What do you think, Andrew?
Yeah, same. I mean, I think of there's this cascading effect of buyers often start out saying, I want to find something in the core, and then when they can't afford it and they can't find it because of things are moving too quickly, they start looking further afield, and that bumps up the areas like the West Shore and further afield. But when the market turns around and they have the option to come back to the core, that's where they go. And so we do get that expanding, contracting effect. And it is related to price, and it's related to demand.
Yeah. Andrew, your face is somewhat covered by your name. Okay, so let's go through the stats today. All right, so it's September 26th, and this month there was a big announcement by the government regarding, in Government of Canada regarding CMHC and its impact on buyers and sellers. We're going to be talking about that today. But first, if you guys like our show, please like and subscribe. We would love followers. New rule regarding StreamYard, by the way, that you have to have 100 likes before you can stream onto a page. And don't forget to comment if you have any questions. We'd love to hear from you. We will respond. And please share if you know somebody who's buying or selling who needs some great advice, or that is our advice. We'd love to. We'd love for you to forward this on to them. All right, last 7 days. Andrew, go ahead, buddy.
Okay, so today is September 26, 2024, and in the last 7 days, 285 properties went live. 165 went pending. There were 144 price decreases, getting almost a parity there between pendings and price decreases. Price increases 9, 2 back on market, 154 sold, 52 expired unsold. So they'll either be relisting or disappearing from the market, and 7 were withdrawn. Same thing. So, and then in the last week, Jane.
So 60% of properties list to sale, 165 pending compared to 285 new listings. So pending isn't necessarily much higher than previous, but the new listings are lower, and that's partly seasonal. And we have 144 price decreases, and price increases, we usually talk about that being an issue with administrative, but it could be sometimes if somebody prices low and they're not getting an offer, they actually may increase because they picture adding a buffer. So 2 back on market. So that's interesting to me. I guess they were doing repairs or something, and 154 solds or completions. 52 expired. That could be people relisting.
Yeah. You're rereading the one I did? Sorry,
You said last week. Oh, sorry. Sorry.
making sure we're on the same page, which I don't think we are.
Okay. I was doing the last week. Not last week.
The vast.
Which was
That's a good one.
Can you see my head now?
Oh God. I'm blushing. I'm actually blushing. So there we go.
We do
Well,
this every week, Jane. Every week we do it this way. I do the last week and you do the week before.
no, you do this slide. I do the next slide.
And moderator.
I'm staying out of this one.
Yeah.
Next slide, please.
Okay.
So we have, I'll do this one. 392 net unconditional sales so far in September of 2024. This is compared to almost 500 for September of 2023. So we may be on track. New listings are at 1,172. That's down from last year, which was 1,297. That may be a good thing. What do you think, Andrew?
I wasn't paying attention.
Okay, and then active listings are at 3,398, and that's up from last year, which was at 2,699. So we're gathering momentum towards a buyer's market. I think we're definitely in a buyer's market. That's my perspective.
Really interesting. I don't really have. I mean, yes, I guess my buyers have been doing well, but I mean, we just competed this morning on a property, and I feel like it's more balanced. But let's see what the stats say at the end of the month.
Yeah, I've been tracking them. So like last month we were at 20%. So that's a buyer's market. Anyway.
Okay. All right.
All right, Jen, any good deals out there? What are we looking at for rates?
Yeah, the fixed rates, we're getting them down to like 4.19 to 4.29%, which is wonderful. That's for a 5-year fixed rate. A variable is prime minus 1.01 is the best variable. And these rates that I'm quoting here are for an insured mortgage.
Okay.
Insured mortgage is less than 20% down payment. So
less than $1 million.
Good news, less than $1 million right now. That's changing starting December 15th. That's going to be going up to 1.5 million. So
major change.
What about an uninsured mortgage?
As far as with
what's the
variable and the fixed. Variable for an uninsured mortgage is around prime minus 0.75, and a fixed we're getting around 4.69.
Huh. So you have to pay more money if you have more money down.
Isn't that?
Yeah.
Well, but there is a reason behind that. So the default insurance removes the risk from the lender. So that's why the interest rates are lower.
Can you get an insured mortgage even if you have more than 20% down? You have to pay a premium.
Yes. Yeah. And then your maximum amortization is 25 years. And sometimes for unique properties, lenders require that even though you have 20% down, it has to be default insured.
So you can get a default insured mortgage above 20% down. I did not know that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay,
But I know there'd be an argument for some people to buy, like they have 20% down payment. They don't need a CMHC mortgage. But looking at the numbers and looking at the benefits, they might be willing to pay the CMHC fees to get that better rate and some of those other benefits. Can you talk maybe about some of the scenarios where that might make sense? Because now that we're at the 1.5 million mark, we might be seeing more of that.
Well, I think in the past, when they introduced, it hasn't always been like this. When they introduced the lower rates for default insured mortgages, or even for a 25-year amortization, anytime I've run the numbers, it doesn't make sense to pay the default insurance premium. It's a significant amount, you're looking at 2 to 3% of the mortgage amount. So it doesn't make sense to pay that to get a reduction in your rate by 0.2, 0.3%.
Right. Not only are you paying to get a reduction in your rate, which doesn't cover it, you're also increasing your mortgage you have to pay those fees actually directly, don't you? They don't go onto your mortgage.
They do go onto your mortgage.
They do go onto your mortgage. So
Yeah,
you're actually increasing the amount your interest is actually being calculated upon as well. So yeah.
What I think with this change of the 1.5% or 1.5 million for a CMHC insured mortgage, I think the sweet spot where we're really going to see this is that 1.1 to 1.2 million. That you've got first-time buyers that need a suite or want a suite, and but they don't quite have that 20% down.
There was an artificial ledge where people were coming up against it at 1 million, and so we were seeing this buildup on this wall at 1 million, where buyers could not buy above that when they had less than 20% down. And so prices would sort of fall off right after 1 million, and and homes were selling there.
Or they would list at $999, so you get everybody buying up to 1 million.
Right.
So then anything listed over, you really narrow your market. So
if you look at the graph of
Mm-hmm.
sales and prices, there's a dip right after 1 million because of that no person's land where sellers can't sell because they're just a little bit too high and buyers can't get there. So now that will expand that out and smooth that graph out, what we're going to see.
Yes.
I think it's going to increase average sale price.
Pricing. Absolutely. Actually probably significantly.
Yeah, let's look at the two different changes here. Nice segue, you guys. Thanks so much. So we have a increase in the price cap of $1 million to 1.5 for insured mortgages, 1.5 million, and expanding eligibility for 30-year mortgage amortizations to all first-time home buyers, so not everybody, and all buyers of new builds, including condos. Were there any other changes? This is what I got.
There was
from the
one
web.
just yesterday.
Yeah. What was that?
So just yesterday, we had an update from the Office of the Superintendent of Financial Institutions, so we refer to them as OSFI, that they're removing the stress test for mortgages that are up for renewal. And so if you've got a 30-year uninsured mortgage and you get your renewal rate from your current lender and it's not very good, but you feel like you can't qualify with another lender based on changes in your situation, well, it's opening up the market now where we may be able to transfer your mortgage out.
So because we do have a U.S. citizen watching here, what is the stress test?
The stress test was brought in, I believe, in 2018, and it's where you have to qualify for a mortgage based on an interest rate 2% higher than what your actual interest rate is. And it's to protect, or in the case of increasing interest rates, because our terms are only guaranteed for 5 years, maximum, well, I shouldn't say maximum, you can get a mortgage up to 10 years, which is different from the States, as you're getting a mortgage for 25 or 30 years.
Yeah, which is
So,
causing a problem in the US because they have so many people who bought during COVID for very low rates, and so they have very low inventory, and they're still going through multiple offers and all of that.
yeah,
Yeah.
but with this stress testing now, with CMHC, so this is actually a pretty major change then, because what people were doing was buying a home, and correct me if I'm wrong, Jen, but buying a home, getting their rates, getting their stress test done, getting their lender approval, and then on renewal, they could renew with that lender and not have to go through a stress test. But if they tried to
Right.
shop around somewhere else, they did. And that
Mhm.
meant that the lenders they were stuck with that lender, and they were getting offered higher interest rate renewals and getting essentially screwed over by the banks
Yes.
on renewal. So this
Exactly.
allows now for people to move between banks and not have to hit the stress test.
Exactly. And
That's
there's no
pretty
cost to switch your mortgage to a new lender. You don't make any changes to the mortgage, like, so you're not looking to increase the balance of the mortgage or make any changes, other than you just want to continue paying it as is, continue your remaining amortization as is. There is no cost to switch to a
I like
different
that.
lender.
because it was little mini monopolies for each of those banks. You were stuck to keep working with them on renewal, and they could name their price.
Yeah.
If it was, as long as it was better than going for the stress test somewhere else, you were forced to stay with them. So this is great.
Total,
It creates a lot more.
yeah, totally makes sense.
Yeah.
So what do you, so what my prediction is that we're going to see an increase of the lower end up over $1 million after December, when the new rules come into effect. What do you think you're going to see, Jen?
Definitely more inquiries, more pre-approvals, and those first-time home buyers that want a suite or can't qualify without a suite. Yeah, it's going to be, it's all good news. This is the first time to have 3 changes in a short time period. It's been years since everything has been tightening for years. So
Yes.
this is 3 positive changes.
This is the first time, and they're smart changes.
Yeah,
first time
I
I've
think,
seen stuff that I'm like, yeah, I can agree with this. This actually makes sense.
yeah,
Yeah.
I really agree with the fact they don't have to go through the whole rigmarole of the stress test, because to me, it was putting people in a vulnerable position who were, had qualified, and maybe the value of their house has gone down as well since if they bought at the height of COVID. So,
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah.
Ugh.
So those people just sign on the dotted line because they don't think that they can, do anything else. But now this opens up the ability for them to look at other options.
So what do you
Which is
recommend
funny.
people do if they are going in for a mortgage renewal?
Definitely reach out to your mortgage broker. I'm right here. I'm happy to help and explore your options for you. I always make sure, for anyone that's mortgage is coming up for renewal, we want to make sure that we're looking at all your options. Do you want to do a renovation, or is there repairs that need to be done? Lots of people, unfortunately, have accumulated some debts over the last few years with the cost of everything being so high. And there's an opportunity to utilize the equity in your home to pay off those debts, if it makes sense. So
Yeah.
it's always important to explore all those options.
Hmm.
And take the long view, not the short view, right? Because if you don't use your mortgage renewal as an opportunity to take a vacation.
True. Yes. Yeah, most
No,
definitely.
but be smart about it. And yeah, if you are sometimes you do need to use the equity in your home to ride out the difficult times to go for the longer term benefit of keeping your home instead of selling it and taking that money and then maybe losing out on the appreciation of your equity over time. So sometimes, you spending money does save you money. It's really a matter of being strategic and talking to your professionals. So you don't always have to sell your home. And this is what I love about that new legislation is the idea of the stress test is so people don't get in hot water by getting too high a loan. But once they're committed to that loan, locking them into having to stay with that same lender is counterproductive. They end up paying more and having that home less affordable to them. So they're actually in a more vulnerable position than if they were able to shop around on renewal. So I love that new legislation. And the one thing I did hear, one of our in-house lenders at Royal LePage was talking about, I guess they're not looking, you can't, because the legislation isn't in effect yet. So folks, don't go out and buy a home yet, expecting you're going to have this working for you. Jen, maybe you can speak to this around timing.
Yeah, so the change for your renewal, that's effective November 21st. And the change for the default insurance, being able to get a mortgage default insured mortgage up to 1.5 million is effective December 15th. So with that, we can't do anything until those dates.
Okay. So once those dates have come and gone, that's when you can start taking action based on those changes in legislation.
That's right. Yeah.
Now, so let's say, for example, you said it's December. When is it in December?
December 15th.
15th. So let's say it's December 1st, and I'm working with a buyer, and they want to buy a home for 1.4 million. They want a CMHC insured mortgage. They could buy that home and close in January, but they wouldn't actually be assured of an approval for a CMHC insured mortgage until after December 15th, right? Correct?
Don't know those details yet because is it based on the date of the contract? Is it based on those details have not been released?
Right.
So I don't know.
Well, great. So that's good to know. So we want to be really careful.
So I'll definitely, as we get more information about it, they've just announced it, and then all the fine print hopefully we'll get in the coming weeks here so we can act accordingly.
Okay.
Yeah, so just so everybody knows, when new changes come in, we are always reacting and responding to them, and we're trying to find out all the information. And we have to be really flexible, and so just take it with a grain of salt that maybe we don't know what we're doing for a minute because we don't know what we're doing because the rules are changing on us.
Yeah, we don't have all the information. We just have the basic outline. Even the politicians generally don't have the actual policy all written out yet. So we're just kind of interpolating some of this at this time.
Yeah, I think it's a very positive move myself. I think it'll allow, my summary is, it'll allow buyers more flexibility. And if, they're at the cusp of $1 million, they can go over now comfortably. And the amortization means they have lower monthly payments. So hopefully more money in the pocket in the short term anyway. And then with the changes regarding the options to go with a new lender, I agree with Andrew. Just give them more choice. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Anything else you guys want to add? No. Any new listings? Andrew?
I got a new one going. I just went live this morning at the Ironwood complex on Craigflower Road.
Oh yeah.
So this is a 2005 built condo building. There's 5 buildings in there. It backs onto Gorge Vale Golf Course. This unit is southeast facing, overlooking the golf course. Second floor, 1,200 square feet, 2 bedrooms and a den. And so really excellent floor plan, high ceilings. could use a little, you could use some paint and some touch-ups and so on and so forth. It's vacant, ready for new owners to put their vision into it. It is $625,000, which I think is a great price for someone looking for a condo that's, you know, enough space so you don't feel like you're in a condo and you have
Awesome.
just quiet and views. So that's great, and that's gone live this morning. That's my announcement.
Okay. We have one in Fairfield, 523 Suite. It's a top floor, but actually you enter through the back door, or the back door is at the top. It's built on a slope, and they put storage between the house and where the parking is. So you have like 3-step entry to have a top floor unit. It's really interesting. You park in behind.
So is this
and
a
there's-
heritage conversion? What are we talking
Yeah.
about here? Okay.
Yeah. So that was, actually, I don't know the year that it was originally built. Let me just look here. 2013 is when it was rebuilt. So it is 1,259 square feet, 2-bedroom, 2-bath. It's really beautiful, open concept kitchen as well. And then we have another listing that just came live on Richardson. I'm doing an open house today from 5 to 6:30. And that is a 3-bedroom, 4-bath home. And it's at number 16, 1020 Richardson. And that is a beautiful home. It's 1,544 square feet, and it's got secure parking and secure entry. So if you're interested,
nice.
come and see me.
Sounds good.
Alrighty, so we do this show every Thursday at 9:30. If you want to join us, we'd love to see you. Please send us any questions that you have. And in the meantime, how do we reach you, Andrew?
Yeah, reach out. I'm at 250-360-6106. Email is info@andrewplank.com. And I'm happy to discuss real estate or life, the universe, and anything, anytime you like. Give me a call.
The answer is 42, by the way, you guys. Jen.
I am at 250-217-4925, and email is jen@jenlo.ca, and website is jenlo.ca.
All right, you can reach me. I'm Jane Johnston with the Briar Hill Group at Remax Camosun. My number is 250-744-0775. You can reach me at briarhillgroup@gmail.com. Go to my website at briarhillgroup.com. And you can watch these shows and more at the victoriarealestateshow.com. And don't forget to follow me on Instagram at realtyteacher_Remax_Victoria. And thank you, Meredith Allen Gordon, watching from Texas. Been great. Have a great day, you guys. Take care, everybody. Bye.
Thanks, everybody. Bye.
Bye.